I killed an elderly man in front of his wife and basically his entire family. Forgive me for any misspellings or format. I'm trying to do this on my phone. I haven't talked about this to anyone even though it's been years, even my closest of friends, minus the ones that were there. One night when I was in college I was driving to get some liquor for a party my fraternity was supposed to throw the following night. I was taking a street I was very familiar with to get back to my house. It was dark but the street was lit with street lamps. I remember that I looked at my radio for a second, just a second, not very long at all. But when I looked back up to the road there was a man crossing. I didn't have any time to react. By the time I saw him he had already hit the hood of my car and bounced off the side. I remember screaming and hitting the brakes, and the wash of horror of what had just happened. I'll admit I had thought about speeding away, but I pulled over to the side and ran out of my car to check on this guy. When I got to him his family was standing outside the restaurant he was leaving and they were all screaming and crying. He has laying on the side of the road with blood coming out his nose and mouth. 2 other men were standing with him trying to see if he was all right and calling 911. All I could say was, I didn't see him. I was frantic by the time it had set in what I had done. I sat on the curb across from the family and listened to their crying in agony while we waited for the paramedics to arrive. I sat there and sobbed while 2 paramedics took him away in an ambulance. I don't believe I've ever cried so hard and for so long. The worst part about all of it and what still kills me today was that his wife came over to me while I was distraught on that curb, sat next to me, placed her hand on my shoulder and said, I was married to him for almost 50 years. We had a good life. Then she hugged me and said that she forgave me. After everything was said and done it was ruled that it was an accident. I wasn't charged with anything and I had one of my friends pick me up from the police station. I went down a dark path the years after that. I drank heavily, dropped out of college in my senior year, and had to move back in with my mother and father because I couldn't hold on to a job. Even tried to kill myself with pills. It was a hard road to recovery, which I feel I'm not fully recovered from, nor do I feel I ever will be the same. But eventually I got my life back in order. Joined up with the Navy and saw a bit of the world, and now I'm on track to go back to college and hopefully finish what I started there. It took almost a decade but I finally start to feel almost whole again. I'm back to hanging with my friends, and actually going out. So maybe there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Wow, you guys are awesome. Thanks for the support and feedback. I've never really posted anything on Reddit before because people can be assholes, but all these kind words are moving. Thank you. And big thanks to whoever reformatted my post. I'm shit at this, so thanks homie. I watched my students beating their classmate and I ignored it. I'm a history teacher and in my class 1213 there's this little prick that always makes a lot of noise, keeps touching and messing with other kids and employees and makes mean, racist jokes about everyone. He is constantly trying to make my life, and the life of his classmates hell, thinking he is funny or something. In a nutshell, he is a bully. Yesterday he destroyed his group project, causing everyone in his group to fail. Although I'm giving more time for the rest of his group to remake all of their lost work. I already tried calling his mom. The bitch defends her precious son that would never do such bad things, he's such a sweetie. Today I was walking to the teacher's room to grab my coffee and I saw the kid being dragged to a corner. I knew what was going on the moment I saw it and I just ignored what I saw and kept going my way. The kid got roughed up and had to go home early while every soul at the class is silent shut about any suspects, but I believe that everyone in the class knew about this for some time now. I personally feel no remorse nor I plan to advance or help on the investigation. I just pretend nothing happened and gave my lecture as always. No remorse, but I can't change the flare. Edit, some more information. I am a Brazilian and this school is a very small and poor one in the bad part of Rio de Janeiro. We do not have most of the resources, be it money or professionals, or the policies that you commenters have suggested to me. I know I was the asshole in this situation, I won't let this shit happen again, nor will I praise anyone that took part on this, but this is a confession subreddit and I confess that it felt good. Also, the kid is fine, they hit him in the belly and arms and obviously I won't let that happen again, the school is giving him extra care and attention. I gave a lactose-intolerant customer dairy on purpose. I know this sounds weird, but when I worked at Starbucks, there was a regular customer that was very difficult and rude. I was warned of this customer on my first day of training. She came in every morning and would try to rush the workers on doing their job and makes other customers feel uncomfortable. 3 months into working, she came in one morning and caused absolute hell. She was complaining about her drink while one of my coworkers was making the drink. As soon as she got it, she accidentally spills it and asks for a completely different drink. I was so fed up. She wanted a frappuccino. She went to the bathroom while we were making the new order. I switched with my coworker and made the drink. Instead of almond milk, I made the frappuccino with regular milk. The drink was ready by the time she left the bathroom. She takes the drink and takes a sip and didn't complain. 5 hours later she calls the Starbucks from the hospital and I was the one who picked up. She got in a car accident trying to rush to a bathroom. She said she shitted her pants. I couldn't be any more happier that she was safe but got her karma. I used to steal tons of food from my old job by pretending to be a customer ordering food and then calling 30 minutes later asking to cancel it. I used to work at this restaurant and the management there was just awful and the GM was just very verbally abusive. She always would complain about everything, and one thing specifically was how there would be 1 or 2 customers who would order food and then never show up. She ended up letting the servers and hosts eat the food. So it gave me an idea. One day she said something that really pissed me off, so I called my job and ordered a bunch of food under a different name, and then that customer would never show up. It made her livid and it gave me the bold idea of doing that whenever I want a lunch. I started to do it an hour or so before my break and I would order whatever I felt like eating that day, and when they'd call and cancel I'd ask a supervisor if I could have the food and they'd say sure. I did this for the entire 3 years that I worked there 2 times a week, sometimes even 3. I didn't ever get caught, and I've even had a coworker help me by being the one to answer the phone. It was kinda funny and that place was awful, so I kinda deserved it. The bold idea of doing that whenever I want a lunch. I started to do it an hour or so before my break and I would order whatever I felt like eating that day, and when they'd call and cancel I'd ask a supervisor if I could have the food and they'd say sure. I did this for the entire 3 years that I worked there 2 times a week, sometimes even 3. I didn't ever get caught, and I've even had a coworker help me by being the one to answer the phone. It was kinda funny and that place was awful, so I kinda deserved it. I kept the display tablets at Target instead of destroying them. I was in charge of fixtures and displays. When we changed over the display tablets I had orders to destroy them. I took all 3 nice Samsung tablets home, wiped the demo software, and used them for myself, family. I also signed paperwork assuring that I disposed of them in the trash. When I was younger, I tried to hack my little brother's Wii and I accidentally bricked it. I felt so bad that I immediately went and bought another with the little money I had. Later I swapped the serial number sticker on the Wii's and put the bricked one back in the box and returned it to the store. The lady at the customer service desk opened it and looked at it very suspiciously. She even checked the serial number on the sticker to see if it matched the box. Thank God I thought of switching the stickers. I can't imagine what would have happened if she saw the sticker was different. I probably would have been arrested. She kept asking why I was returning it. I said I bought it for someone's b-day party, but he already had one. Eventually she took it and gave me the money back. When I was younger I saw a lady drop $100, I picked it up and used all of it on Yu-Gi-Oh cards right in front of her. Basically, she dropped the $100 bill in one of the aisles of this game store. I picked it up and I remember wanting to give it back, but I was there to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I had recently lost all my good cards to my friend in a bet, so this was a miracle of sorts to make a solid comeback. So I kept it. I thought the woman had left the store, so I went to go purchase my cards. Right as I gave my money to the cashier, she walks up behind me watching me buy my $100 worth of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This isn't a normal thing to do. She said nothing though, and I left before she went to go buy her items, so I didn't have to see the look on her face when she realized. There is no doubt in my mind that once she realized she was $100 short, she would make the assumption it was the kid in front of her in line who spent $100 on cards. I just want to say, I am a different person now. I call fake orders into a pizza place to get free pizzas. My husband works at a popular pizza chain. We'll call it piece of butt for the sake of rhyming. If orders are messed up or carry-out orders don't show, the employees get to take the food home. Sometimes I order pizzas under fake names and give the numbers of local businesses as callback numbers, and then purposefully never show up to pay for it. 9 times out of 10 my husband brings home the pizza I ordered. This is sinful pizza, yes I know. But sin pizza tastes better than honest pizza, inexplicably. Edit. Wow, guys. I'm glad so many people found this entertaining. I'm glad to put a smile on anonymous internet faces. Thanks for the gold and silver. My first gold. For those who say I am a pizza shit, why yes I am. Especially since I can afford to buy the pizza. I hope I don't put piece of butt out of business. I'd feel so bad since they've treated my husband so well as an employee. For those who went through my post history and want to report this to the school I work at, please do it. My boss could use a laugh. For those who immediately messaged me about my divorce, being single now, you must at least work at Papa John's or better, and maybe I'll consider you. Papa bless y'all. I gave my friend a fatal dose of heroin and it still haunts me. I did time in jail, I went to therapy, and I sought forgiveness from her family. I worked on myself. I went to rehab. I'm now 6 years sober. I warn the youth about the dangers of drugs. But I still remember that night vividly. Her birthday is coming up and that's when the guilt intensifies. I've thought about suicide before. I took a life and I was a worthless piece of shit, so I deserved to die. I know I didn't cause her addiction. It's possible she would have overdosed without my help. But it doesn't matter because in this reality, I was the one who did it. And I will never not feel guilty about it. I stole my dad's car at night to lose my virginity to a chick I had never met. Hi, I am 20 now, but this happened when I was barely 16. I met this girl on Hot or Not who said she wanted to have her way me, so I was like dope, I am gonna get some good strange for my first time. I decided to meet up her on a Friday night. I waited for my parents to go to sleep, then snuck out my window with my dad's keys and stole his car to meet this girl I had never met IRL. I call her on my parents' house phone right before I sneak out to make sure she knows I am coming over. They took my cell phone at night. So I get there and guess what? She not there. I drive back to the McDonald's down the road from her place and call her using the phone number I had written on my handwritten Google Maps directions, again had no cell. She tells me she will be home in 30 minutes, so I waited out. I go there around 12:30 am and she's waiting for me out on the porch. I walk up and I was like, oh shit, she's a lot less attractive than in her pics, but I am already here and went through this much shit to get here, so frick it, why not? We do the thing while on the floor and 2 days later I got ringworm on my ass cheek. I also neglected to tell her I was a virgin till I was done smashing. Haven't told anyone except my close guy friends that story. Edit. She had dogs that rubbed their ass on the floor and I was unaware, so it gave me ringworm on my ass cheek because she wanted to frick on the floor. It was a terrible night but memorable. Edit 2. Wow, thanks guys for the gold and hella upvotes. Love y'all. I made my brother think he has alopecia for the last 15 years. This is probably the pettiest thing I have ever done, and I regret it to this day. When I was 15 years old, I got my first job and started to have some money of my own. I used my money to spoil myself and purchased nicer things like clothes, shoes, makeup and salon brand shampoo. My brother used to sneak into my bathroom and constantly steal my nice shampoo. He would use them and most of the time he would leave them open in the bathtub. This would result in the rest of the shampoo going down the drain and leave me with empty containers. This drove me completely insane and I hated him for taking my things. I tried to speak with my parents about this, but they told me that I should just learn to share. One day I went out and purchased hair removal cream. I mixed this into my shampoo bottle and left it in my bathroom. I gave him a verbal warning not to use my newly purchased bottle, but he
believing in me and giving me this chance. Subscribe.
He said it.